Esther, a young Jewish woman, becomes the queen of Persia and uses her position to save her people from destruction by interceding before the king. The story of Esther is a fascinating and inspiring account from the Old Testament of the Bible, found in the book of Esther. Historical context: the story of Esther takes place during the Babylonian captivity, when many Jews were taken captive to Babylon. The Persian king Xerxes, also known as Ahasuerus, ruled over a vast empire that extended from India to Ethiopia. Xerxes' banquet: King Xerxes holds a great banquet for all his nobles and officials, displaying the wealth and power of his kingdom for 180 days. After this period, he hosts another banquet lasting 7 days, open to everyone in Susa, the capital. Vashti is deposed. During the banquet, King Xerxes orders his queen, Vashti, to come and display her beauty to the guests. She refuses, which enrages the king. As a result, Vashti is deposed as queen. Esther is chosen as queen. To find a new queen, Xerxes summons young virgins from across the empire for a beauty contest. Esther, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai, is one of the young women chosen and is selected as the new queen, although Xerxes does not know she is Jewish. Esther's identity: Esther is introduced as a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. Her original name was Hadassah, but she is known by her Persian name Esther, which means star. She keeps her Jewish identity a secret for much of the story, following Mordecai's instructions. Mordecai's role: Mordecai plays a crucial role in the story as Esther's cousin and guardian. He advises and guides her, encouraging her to intercede on behalf of her people. Mordecai is also responsible for uncovering and revealing a plot by 2 of the king's eunuchs against Xerxes, which contributes to his position of influence in the palace. Haman's plan to eliminate the Jews: out of hatred for the Jews, Xerxes' chief official, Haman, devises a plan to exterminate all the Jews in the empire, convincing Xerxes to issue a decree authorizing the massacre. Mordecai, who was at the palace gate and discovers Haman's entire plan, asks Esther to intervene on behalf of her people. Esther's fast and divine intervention: Esther courageously decides to intercede for the Jews despite the personal danger. She calls for a 3-day fast among the Jews and then presents herself to the king uninvited, risking her own life. The king extends the golden scepter to her, allowing her to make her request. Esther's banquet and Haman's revelation: during a banquet organized by Esther for the king and Haman, she reveals Haman's plan to destroy her people. Xerxes, furious, orders that Haman be hanged on the gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. Xerxes' decree and the salvation of the Jews: the turning point in the story occurs when Xerxes issues a new decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. Instead of being massacred, the Jews manage to defend themselves and prevail over those who sought to destroy them. This turn of events is seen as divine intervention and a demonstration of God's providence in protecting His people. Themes of courage and divine providence: the story of Esther is permeated with themes of courage, faith, and divine providence. Esther shows courage by risking her own life to intercede for her people, trusting in God's providence to protect her and guide her steps. The story as a whole is a testimony to God's power to act through courageous and faithful individuals to fulfill His purposes. The story of Esther is celebrated by Jews during the Feast of Purim, which commemorates the salvation of the Jews from Haman's plot. It is a story of courage, faith, divine providence, and triumph over injustice, and it continues to inspire many to this day. The significance of Purim: the Feast of Purim, celebrated by Jews in memory of the events in the story of Esther, is one of the most joyful holidays in the Jewish calendar. During Purim, Jews read the book of Esther, give gifts, share festive meals, and donate to the needy. It is a celebration of the survival of the Jewish people and their victory over their enemies.